has added two new apps, Search Analytics and Fetch as Google. So like I said, Google adds two new features for app indexing in the Search Console, Search Analytics and Fetch as a Google support. The new features do include the ability to see how searchers are discovering the content within your native Android apps through Google Search in the Search Analytics report, plus the ability to see how Google sees your app content through an alpha version of Fetch as a Google for Apps. This comes as no surprise, as Google was seeking to beta testers for these new features not so long ago. Basically, the prerequisites for this is that number one, you need to have an Android app. Two, open Search Console and enter your app name, Android/app.com example. Number three, have an associated app to a site in the console. And number four, of course, submit the XML feed. Then you can benefit from all these new features. Search Analytics for apps, basically the report will give you detailed information on top queries, top app pages, and traffic by country for your app. It has also the normal filters that you'd see in the website content. However, it does apply to your app, including filtering by specific query type or region, or sort by clicks, impressions, CTR, and positions. Okay, and as for Fetch as Google for Apps, if you ever wondered how Google sees the content within your Android app, well, here's the answer. Google designed a beta version of the Fetch as Google for Apps to give app developers insight into this, and it will show you by app URL how Google renders a URL. And I added a picture there for you to take a look at, so you'll see that there. Okay. Armando, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, no, thank you. A couple of things. So I do take back something that I said many weeks ago to everyone. I mean, when Google came up with the mobile upgrade, or the mobile algorithm update, basically, they also talked about their intention or their goal to also get involved with apps. And I think that they really now are pushing forward to getting as much information. So apps that are connected can be indexed and obviously show results, but they've gone, show these search results online through Google search engine result pages, right? SERPs. And now they've gone one step forward, which is really cool. It's for those of ICs that have clients that have apps. Now there's an analytics section to it. Okay, so it is still something that you may need to beta test and review on a consistent basis right now. But if you look at it, this is their commitment to move forward to also provide data on what's happening with the usage of ad, including search analytics. So that's really interesting coming from Google. And as Amalia has said, these three things will definitely provide further insight. What do you need to do? Obviously, you need to have an Android app. So it's only working with Android right now, Android apps. You have to submit that app name into the console, and obviously have an associated app to a site, and submit the XML feed. So it is something new. I know that if you have any questions, it is something new even for us that we're still kind of testing. So if you have any questions, you can definitely connect with us offline, and we'll have our team review this. But it's a pretty neat feature that they're adding. So now you are not only getting Google Analytics, on Google Search Console, also known as, or formerly known as, Google Webmaster Tools. Not only are you getting information regarding to your desktop website, you're getting information in regards to your mobile, if you have a mobile, because that's also something that they added a few weeks back. And now you have information if you have an apps integrator or connected to that site, or as part of your overall digital market strategy. You can connect everything in one. So the Google Search Console becomes a more important interface than ever. So that's a pretty cool thing to do. So right now, from our understanding, they're not tracking iPhone or iPhone apps. This is primarily with Android only. Okay, I would imagine that as they roll out this feature, they'll probably be also adding iPhone or related apps. But right now, it's primarily for the Androids. Okay, So I think that's they're pretty committed, and I was wrong because I thought, you know what, no, they're gonna take their time before they start doing anything in regards to their apps. But the age of apps is around the corner as well. Okay, good. Moving on. Another interesting thing that I wanted to share with you from search engine land is really Google again. Google pushing hard on mobile, and in this case, what they've done is they actually added what they call quote unquote nearby business mobile app formats for location related searches. So the goal is that hopefully within the next 4 to 6 weeks, I would imagine, or in some searches already happening, they're going to have up to 4 paid business listings. Typically right now, the ad displays, right, on any mobiles, I typically only find about 1 or 2 ad related or results, right? You have the ad results, but they're looking at doing up to 4 business listings. So again, monetizing on mobile advertising, that's something that Google's focusing on, which creates opportunities for everyone. So whereas, for example, if you are doing Google AdWords through text ads, for example, and you're now focusing on mobile and doing campaigns for your clients, here's also an opportunity for you to optimize that, right, and set a budget aside for these type of campaigns. Now, how does it affect, and they call it the near business pack, in regards to having the four ads for businesses on location related searches. And I'm going to show you a screenshot in a second, but it's just going to be able to create more opportunity for bidding, for competition, etc. Now, why did they do it? Because according to Google Trends data from March, 80% of those searches, searches for near me. So near me. So for example, restaurant near me, or mechanic near me, or I don't know, spa near me. Those type of searches or keywords phrase searches have doubled in the past year, with 80% of those coming from mobile. So with this change, obviously, they're going to be adding. Well, they actually capitalized and added these 4 pack. Let's say now this 4 pack is totally different than the other 7 pack on the desktop version. So let me just show you, and I'm gonna come back to this because I think this is kind of interesting as well. That's happening, and you'll see that the ads are similar to the organic local listings on Google mobile searches. Let me show you a screenshot. So, for example, on the left hand side, I have a screenshot of a search result where we're typing in nearby auto repair. Okay, and on the right hand side, just your standard auto repair shops. So what you're getting with your standard, what's happening right now, auto repair shops, you'll see, for example, many key auto repair. You have the different extensions. However, note this, when you type in nearby auto repair, you start seeing that there are 2 things that are happening a little bit different. Yes, you have your title, you have your location, but you have your directions, and you also have your call to click. So it is more mobile, it's mobile friendly, right? Whereas your standard one that is not using the term nearby or near me, for example, that one's just your standard, mobile ad. So what's going to happen is that in some cases you will be getting, right now this one, for example, only shows 1 ad. So a couple of things are going to happen. You're going to get more ads in your results, right? So up to 4, they're saying. And then you'll have the opportunity, oops, sorry, I moved forward. You also have the opportunity to have directions and call and click to call. So it's making it, 1 click, 2 clicks right into your client's website, right? Whereas before it's a little bit different. Sorry, 1 or 2 clicks to get into the phone, right? Like to get a phone call, right? To get a phone inquiry. Whereas before you had to click on the ad and get to the site, and then click on the mobile version of the site. Now they're doing it easier. So in order for this to happen on Google AdWords, advertisers must have location extensions enabled in their accounts in order to be eligible to show the new nearby business mobile ad format. In addition, I would actually speak with your AdWords team, your supplier, and tell them to run a test if they should be bidding for keywords with a prefix nearby. Maybe you'll get more traffic because people, from what it looks, they're actually searching with that in mind. So nearby, near me, those kind of terms are something that you should be looking at from a mobile perspective. So it's very interesting that this is happening already with Google through their mobile ad format being very proactive. Okay, now um, one of the questions that I have is, if you have multiple locations, can you still use nearby business ads? Yes, you can, as long as it's set up properly on the Google AdWords console, because everything is managed through there, right? So I would imagine, based on what they've shared with us, is that it's just going to recognize it automatically, right? So if you have multiple locations and you're running Google Ads, right, Google PPC ads, right, paid search campaigns, it will automatically do recognize that, right? Now, I beg to go one step forward to everybody, specifically the SEO enthusiasts amongst us. I would actually start looking for keyword, like adding to my SEO keyword searches the terms near me and nearby into the combination to see how you can actually optimize that for mobile, right? Maybe in your desktop rankings, you're not going to get good rankings or good or great results because you're not going to get a lot of traffic. However, it'll be interesting to find out in a time span of 60 to 90 days, if you, let's say, optimize one or two keywords with the prefix near me or nearby, so into your SEO strategy, how that pans out. That'll be a test. So I thought about that was kind of cool as well. So interesting stuff coming from from Google, but I would challenge the SEO enthusiasts to try to do that organically and seeing how that pans out in the organic results. Okay. Now, I don't want to confuse anybody. The news is all about paid Google ads, right? So Google AdWords, but I'm kind of talking about SEO a little bit to the next level. So I'm actually going to have the team check that on one of the accounts to test it. So let's see how that goes, and I'll keep you posted. Okay, Amalia, this is also another piece of news
Yeah.
from Google in regards to their
Mhm.
Google Twitter deal.
That's right. So the recent news that just came up, I would say late last week, is Google and Twitter officially announced that they are going live, giving tweets prominent placement in Google's results. So tweets now appear for trending topics in a new carousel format. So Twitter doesn't earn directly off display, but will gain new traffic. The deal between Google and Twitter is to bring more tweets into Google's search results. Was basically announced, I believe it's early last year, but it's finally delivering its promise. So it's now officially gone through. Google is now showing tweets in a new and more graphical way on mobile devices with desktop to be promised soon. So right now it's available with mobile, desktop to come in a little later. In regards to, the tweets and the carousels and the imagery and so forth. So both Twitter and Google shared the news in blog posts, I believe, late last week, and they did provide a couple of examples. So if you see there on the imagery on the far right, I believe, on a screen, there's a carousel of tweets on the top of the page where many of them will show large images. As we continue, you'll also notice when or why these tweets appear uncertain is because the tweets don't always appear at the top of the page. Sometimes they might appear elsewhere, such as the middle of the page. So I believe we do have another imagery there for you to look at that it shows you the differences. Okay, so for example, the Mac Pro shows on the right-hand side, right? So moving forward, sometimes the tweets may not even appear at all. So these are things you do have to look at with the updating of what's going on with Google and tweeting. Google was asked about why tweets might show and what controls exactly where they'll show and if they're showing at all. And Google basically didn't answer these questions at the time, but they said that they will deal with this as to why it's going on. And again, I guess it's still going through its testing periods. It is a great way, though, to get real-time information when something is happening. Google does, encourage using tweeting, of course. Presumably, you're more likely to see tweets in Google with hashtag topics, persons, or organizations. For Twitter traffic, Twitter basically tells us that there's no direct monetization involved. Example, no clicks on tweets at Google will earn Twitter any direct money. If you look on page 12, the next slide, which basically is the last slide where it says what will Google get, what's Twitter basically getting out of this? Basically, what they're basically saying, you're getting more of a trend, more topics, more carousel format, and of course we'll get more search results involved. So yeah, if you take a look at that, you'll see with each one, the examples will show differently for each one, for each, whether it's Android, whether it's a regular phone. I'm cutting out here. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yep.
Sorry, I'm having difficulty, so forgive me.
Yeah.
My pages were flashing, and I'm losing myself here. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm having connection issues. Armando, you might want to take over because I don't want to lose here. I'm losing my screen here.
Okay, yeah, no problem. So the key
My
thing,
apologies.
yeah, the key thing to note about this, and I'm going to go back quickly because you were very detailed on it, but just to recap and refresh everybody on these changes, the Twitter or the tweets are only displaying right now on mobile, okay, and they're only happening right now on the on mobile devices, and what they're saying is that ideally, although they do have an example of a Mac Pro where that's showing, so it's probably anything that has to do with tablet or mobile devices. Although they're saying that they're going to have a desktop version very soon, but for now it's mobile, right? And it's really, I guess, for us is capitalizing and having a strategy with our clients in regards to Twitter, right? So I know Facebook's still a primary social media property for many of our clients, but also tweeting now is an opportunity, at least for the mobile version. So again, Google pushing mobile, right? So I don't think right now at this stage they have any specific ads related to that, but from Twitter's perspective, it's just benefiting from more exposure on their tweets. Now, the new implementation will be offered for those searching in the U.S. and in English, okay, through iOS or Android or the Google Search app. So it's not happening again with iPhones, okay? It's only with iOS or Android or the Google Search app, okay, where you're gonna have these Twitter results, okay, or tweet results, okay, and obviously Twitter promises that in the future they're gonna add desktop in other languages. I don't see them in Canada as well, so maybe it's just happening from the U.S. Okay, so just wanted to let you know that again, it's another great thing that's happening, and I can tell you, our this gets me excited. I mean, I'm pretty excited about today's webinar. So many changes happening. How do we keep up? So just keep an eye on that. We'll keep you posted. How do you keep up? By listening to our LaunchPad webinar. Self a bit of a self advertising there, but yeah, we'll keep you posted on things that come up. Excellent, thank you, Amalia, and don't worry, I know that uh, uh, you had a bit of a internet connection. Okay, I wanted to share something very interesting with you today, and we've been talking about mobile for such a long time now, right? I mean, probably about 6 to 8 months, and sometimes we have all these stats from Google, from anybody, but actually there's an association called the Local Search Association, and this report is very interesting because it focuses specifically on the U.S. Okay, and U.S. so far, which is obviously is one of the biggest markets in the world, right? So they actually did a whole survey and a study in regards to the use of mobile devices, and as we know, mobile already surpassed PC, specifically when searching for local information. So some of the stats are very key for you in your sales presentations when you're communicating or educating your client, or if you're doing a presentation to your BNI or anything. These are great stats that you can show coming from a very credible source, the LSA, right? And some of the things that they mentioned were 60% of US adults now typically choose smartphones or tablets over PCs to find information before buying products and services offline. Okay, according to the U.S. Commerce Department, 70% of nearly 18 trillion US dollar GDP is driven by consumer spending that occurs within 20 miles of home or work. So that's local business, local information, local searches. While e-commerce grew to about 300 billion in 2014, it's dwarfed by offline purchasing. Annual retail spending alone is more than 4 trillion market. However, this is the key thing that I found very interesting. Offline consumer buying is increasingly influenced by the internet. Now, more frequently accessed on mobile devices to the tune of trillions of dollars per year. There's a great presentation by Google in regards to this. I'm hoping that maybe in the next few weeks I'll share some of it, where it talks about how individuals are using their mobiles even while they're at the store. And the interesting thing is that, you know what, they'll search for something on a desktop at work. Just to give you an example, okay, so they'll search for, let's say, I don't know, shoes, or red shoe, Prada shoes or Gucci shoes, or I don't know, a new pair of sneakers. And then, so they'll get some results. So, they'll, let's say they're looking for a sports jacket. They'll go through sports related websites, or sports retail shops. Then they actually go to the retail shop. Okay, so now they're at the location. They actually pull up their smartphone. They again start comparing prices. So while they're at the location, they already think they know a lot about the information that in regards to this product, the specifications, etc. And then they won't shop there. They'll go back home and they'll buy online through their smartphone. So these are some of the behavioral patterns, and this is what they're talking about. Offline consumer buying is increasingly influenced by the internet. As a matter of fact, I had the opportunity to be with an IC at a presentation last week. They're actually a flooring company, and they tell us that the clients come to their location already like they know the brand, they know the code number, like they're super educated, and they want to take a picture of it because they want to go to the competitor to look up pricing. So we're dealing with a highly educated consumer now. And the shift from PCs to mobile for local search and smartphones in particular is what they call a new segment. They call them the mobile fanatics. Okay, that's interesting. Where these mobile users conduct at least 10 searches per week on at least two devices from multiple locations. So that's talking about being connected. So the future is here. According to Ned Norton, who's the president of the LSA, he talks about mobile fanatics are always shopping, quote unquote, and considering products no matter their location, allowing them to be reached anytime and anywhere. The challenge becomes delivering relevant and engaging content when they pick up their devices. So again, that's great for us because that's our job. Finding solutions to challenges, right? As marketers. So they talk about this specific. Just give me a quick second. Moving to the next slide. This is a specific study, and the mobile fanatic consumer base has already begun to limit the effectiveness of traditional marketing methods. So, according to the study, 40% of consumers use a desktop, PC, or laptop when looking for local information online, a 9% decrease from 2014. The study highlights that the consumer path to purchase is no longer linear in today's environment. So remember, it used to be very forward-thinking, process-oriented. Desktop to actually going to the store and buying on the store, for example. Or before it was, looking at a newspaper, looking at the ads, saving, cutting the ad, taking it to the store if it's a coupon or a brochure or something, and then making a purchase. Now it's totally different. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to see if I can share that with you next week. The new path to purchase that Google shares with their clients. It's actually on their website, and you can also find it on Google Trends and their Google Insights websites. But anyhow, here are some things that you might want to know. The study highlights that the consumer path to purchase is no longer linear in today's environment, and marketers must be able to capitalize on this process to reach customers when they are ready to buy. So we become not just individuals that drive traffic and that do conversion rate optimization, but now we have to really go a little bit deeper and understand path to purchase behavior. So that's the next level where we as digital marketers have to move through. And here are some of the other stats that they show. 52% of smartphone users look for local information in the car or on the go. So again, mobile internet dominance. Mobile use in stores. That's what I was referring to a few minutes back. 90% of all users have used their devices while shopping. 90%. 54% of smartphone users look for deals, and 51% of users compare prices. So that's very interesting. Mobile apps on the rise. 45% of mobile fanatics use store apps to find information about products and services while shopping in store. Mobile ads work. 70% of mobile fanatics who view mobile ads make a purchase. 80% complete the transaction within 72 hours of viewing a mobile ad. So mobile marketing works. Our goal as marketers is beyond the desktop. It's moving into a new direction of mobile and also apps. So I had put the link here. Just before I finish, I'm gonna post it online on the chat here, so everybody can kind of look at this very interesting study that was actually done back in March. So I apologize, I just got it hold of it today, and I thought it was very interesting. Okay, moving forward, this is what I wanted to share with you in relation to what we were just talking about, and the local search association, again, they came up with a new pulse survey, and that's what I wanted to kind of share with you today. A lot of good insights here, and I will also share the link at the end of the webinar. And they call it "Search: The Best Way to Win an SMB's Heart." So according to a recent survey by LSA, or the Local Search Association, search engine optimization, SEO, is one of the greatest areas of concerns for small and mid-sized businesses. Okay, according to this report, search engines and mobile search ranked first and third respectively as sources that were extremely likely to be used to find local businesses, products, or services. Search is also the area that small and mid-sized businesses most need help with, according to the new data released in this report. It was conducted by a company called Thrive Analytics. So let's start looking at some of this data. So here in Figure 1, you can actually start seeing the areas where businesses require assistance in. Now, on the left-hand side are all of the services, or let's say online marketing tactics or digital marketing tactics that can be used to help a business increase brand awareness, lead generation, exposure online, etc. Right? All of the activities are right here. From on the horizontally, then you have how old is that business, so the tenure of the business. So a business that's brand new, less than 1 year, 1 to 3 years, 3 to 6 years, 6 to 10 years, 10 to 15 years, and 15 years plus. As you can see, the businesses with 10 years plus, they may require less assistance, right? As you can see, 18%, 16% of them say they need help with online content creation, and then it jumps into 9%. And that's probably because they have their own internal resources, right? However, here's an opportunity for you as a consultant to provide an auditing service, right? To help them provide a digital marketing blueprint or a content marketing blueprint. So there's still opportunity even dealing with these businesses. However, if you noted, SEO, visibility in Google results, still very important to them, 29%. So this is where this report tells us that, obviously a new business requires 25%. These are the areas that they require. So content creation, search engine optimization, local citations, local presence, PPC, obviously page search. They don't have their own resources in house, so they need a lot of help in this area. Facebook or social media marketing, so social media management. It's also something that they require. Company website e-commerce. So if they're less than 1 year, you're pretty much starting them up in these areas. And if you notice, you will see that the majority of the services they require are in digital, because as you move forward, for example, loyal marketing, traditional media, reputation monitoring, and deals and promotions, the number is less, right? So that's something that you can see there. The next thing that you can see is also that 1 to 6 years, they still need help in SEO. They may have a little bit of a handle on content creation, but again, you can provide auditing services, idea services to these companies, because the biggest challenge with any business is really generating content, right? They may say they don't need help, but actually delivering the content and creating fresh content is very challenging, right? So that's one of the things that they're asking for. So the other thing that you can see here, sorry, I'm just moving my browser a little bit to the side, is that uh, here we go. Based on the highlights of this report, SEO ranked first of the areas SMBs most desire help in by all companies except for the most mature. Like I said, more than 15 years. By that time, they probably have one person in house. It will be interesting to see with SMBs if they actually have typically at 15 years, you should have a marketing manager, right, in house. And if that marketing manager has some digital marketing experience, which I doubt it, right? Even in the past year, we've been working with some, big organizations, and these organizations, they have director of marketing. In some cases, they have two marketing managers, and surprisingly enough, they don't even have any experience in digital marketing. It's an opportunity for us. Now, what's in it for us? For digital marketing agencies, they need to recognize that if they're not providing SEO related help to clients as part of their services, there's a good chance the clients feel their most important need is not being met. So listen to your clients when you're doing your IBAs, and obviously you'll notice that for them, they're educated enough that they know that they need SEO related help. It doesn't. It may not mean it may not mean a whole large scale SEO strategy. It may just be a local SEO strategy. So keep an eye on that, because that's where an opportunity is. One way to provide immediate SEO dividends for an SMB client is to ensure its website is mobile responsive or mobile friendly. We've been preaching about that for months. A full 60% of SMBs in the local pulse study said their websites were not optimized for mobile. So again, great opportunity. I mean, the writing's on the wall. We can't go we can't go any further. I mean, Google made the changes. This is a great opportunity for your existing and for new prospects for you to capitalize on and educate them and help them, because this is all about helping them, right? Uh, Google's new mobile friendly ranking released in 2015 means marketers can kill two birds with one stone. So not only just helping them transition to a mobile website that helps boost SEO under the new formula, while also taking the first step towards mobile advertising and marketing solutions, what we spoke in the previous article, right? So definitely, it's really again about educating your clients. Right? It's about educate. Just when we had the transition of social media, if you recall, years ago, social media was non-existent, and we had to educate our clients about the proper use of social media for advertising purposes, for commercial purposes, for branding purposes, etc. So now we're in this age where we have to really educate our clients about the mobile, the shift in mobile. Another key thing that came out of this study was the creation of online content is critical to new companies that are less than a year old, but interest in that service drops off dramatically after the first year. According to this study, 56% of small business owners only update their website every 6 months or less. We all know that. 65% of business listings are updated quarterly, and 55% of social media pages are updated monthly or less. So again, the opportunity is there for us to really help clients in these key areas. Obviously, content on site, so blogging, for example, or even updating their product line or service line, news, company news, product news, etc. Also, their business listings, right? Local citation work that can be done for them, and also any type of directory listings, or even My Google business updates or Google Plus updates, and also in social media. Now, this is again something that we are aware of, is the practice of infrequent content updates by SMBs may be due to the misguided belief that content is a static asset. So again, educating our clients. As a matter of fact, we'll talk a little bit about that. At the minimum, there's a misunderstanding of the value of fresh and engaging content to customers, and even to the business owners express priority as SEO. So even though their priority is SEO, they still don't really understand that part of that SEO strategy is not just local citations, it's not just link building, but content creation. And that content creation is not just on site, but also through social media properties, right? The study revealed that 37% of small businesses felt their biggest challenge with online or digital marketing was they did not have enough knowledge or expertise. So that's a great opportunity for us to educate them, and educating them is not just going through the IBA, doing webinars, meeting with your BNI groups. I mean, we have to be in some case evangelists, right? Of what we are providing our services, right? Maybe some people may not like the word evangelist, but we have to be we have to communicate that, right? 40% did not have enough time, and 21% did not have resources to have dedicated staff manage the marketing. Okay, so great opportunity in 2015 for us to focus on SEO and, more importantly, adaptive SEO, right? Which marries a combination of different things that we already discussed, right? So these are great stats that you can, feel very confident about your local market because your local businesses need you, right? And I like this report because it really confirms what we're doing as SEO, as digital marketers. And sometimes I know that we may think, oh well, uh, there's no demand, or there's people are trying to do this on their own. But no, you know what, the smart business owner realizes that they actually need help, because they don't have the knowledge or expertise, they don't have the time, or they don't have the resources in house. So this is a very interesting stats. So you can see it here in this graph, where you're saying, biggest challenges with online digital marketing, 40%, you can see is not enough time. They're too busy. So here we go. We can help you with that, Mr. Client, Mr. Customer, Mr. Prospect. 33%, their ad budget not large enough. Now, this is an interesting one. I would actually, I like one of the ICs, several of the ICs that we're working with. They try to focus on the crawl, walk, run approach. So maybe you have to really do a small SEO package to get them believing on search, right? Or believing on you, trusting you in order to move them. So you don't have to start with a big budget, right? Get them a few results. Create a custom package that's going to help them, right? So ad budget doesn't. You don't always have to go for the bigger SEO packages. You can always start them small and build them up. So ad budget not large enough. 37, not enough knowledge or expertise. Great opportunity for you locally to be doing webinars, seminars, etc. Educate your clients, become an expert, become an authority. And obviously the other one, 21%, not enough resources to hire dedicated personnel. I mean, there's a great opportunity right here. So this is very interesting. Now, the best way to win an SMB's heart, it's by educating them, not by selling them hard. Okay, so who are the successful? What can providers start doing to better serve SMBs? Listen, this is what they responded. This is what this survey asking small and medium-sized companies, this is what they responded to. What can they provide me? Listen to my needs, consult with me, better contact, educate is big. Educate and train me, right? Understand my business needs, better prices, accurate changes, be honest. So if you look at this, it's not really about pricing. You see, pricing is not the most important thing to them. The most important thing from what I see in this infograph or this graphical is the education, training, honesty, and obviously a mix between understanding their business needs, right? So whatever you can do as added value to educate your client is very key because you're winning their heart. Okay, always think like that. Now, what you shouldn't be doing? What can providers stop doing to better serve SMBs? Okay, you got to stop increasing the budget. Okay, so again, work with their budget accordingly. Again, I'm going to talk about the crawl, walk, run approach. Pushy sales pitches that doesn't work, that turns people off. Providing no value, wasting my time, making mistakes, being unprepared, having new reps, pitching flavor of the month products. So if you're going to do a promotion, have a strategy behind it. It's not just pushing products or pushing promotions down your into for your clients. It's thinking about them, what they need, right? So pushy sales pitches, providing no value. So again, if you're educating your client, you're providing value. If you're training your client, providing value. So I'm a, I can tell you that that's what I've been saying. If you get together with a number of ICs locally and run a Google webinar, I'm pretty sure head office can assist you in doing so. And if you need us to help you and be a second speaker to kind of generate worthwhile content, let us know, right? It can be done through a webinar or a seminar. If you're paying for my flight, I'll fly. So what we're trying to say here is really educate your client and train your clients, right? Give them added value. And another key thing that you can do for them is really, on a quarterly basis or even on a monthly basis, take a topic of what you're doing. If it's link building, content marketing, and try to educate them. What does all this mean? What does it mean, right? All these things that you're doing for me or you're offering me. Okay. 33% of SMBs state that their biggest challenge with digital or online marketing is lack of sufficient ad budget. However, it appears that most SMBs have the means and will pay for education and training. Okay, so again, that's very critical that you can do with your local clients, and it could be even as a very simple thing as introducing them to social selling, right? Because that's an introduction into digital marketing, right? And it's also an introduction into WSI. So if you have clients that existing clients or prospects that you believe they're candidates for the social selling course, hey, listen, I would recommend it, right? I would recommend talking to them about it because I will tell you, they'll go through the program. A minority of them will actually implement what they learn, but at least they feel like they've gained that knowledge and that value. So therefore, when you come in, you start kind of taking over their accounts and doing their social media. You already built that relationship, you already built that bridge, and they understand the effect, the importance of having a social media strategy, right? Which ties into SEO, etc. By better understanding the marketplace and advertising products, SMBs will realize where they need help and feel more comfortable purchasing other services such as content creation and mobile marketing. Again, it goes back to training and education. Okay. Now here we are talking. This is an interesting slide. SMBs are planning on increasing their spending on marketing and or advertising and will increase the number of media types in their marketing efforts. So if you can look at the left-hand side graph, you see that over the next 12 months, 14%, so in 2015, they've said that 14% have said that they'll dedicate 14% of their budgets of their total expenses to marketing and advertising. That's 14% versus 12% in 2014 and 11% in 2013. So as you can see, they know, right? They know it's very key, and little by little, they're increasing that budget. They may be taking it away from traditional marketing or other areas, but they know that in the next 12 months, they'll be investing more on marketing and advertising. And the average number of media types currently used in marketing efforts also is increasing. If you look at 2013, it used to be 6 media types, so that could have been some traditional, some digital, right? Then it moved to 6.6 and 7.2. So within 2 years, you've moved to one whole point, meaning that they're willing to add a new media type to their whole marketing efforts or marketing mix. Right? So there is an opportunity again for you not only to help them increase their spending step by step, but also on introducing new services to them that they can benefit from based on their needs, right? So increasing spending this year on marketing and advertising by 27% compared to 2013 and by almost 17% compared to last year, as they budgeted 14% of all of the expenses to marketing and advertising in 2015. So that's what the survey says. Definitely SMBs plan on increasing that spending this year. On average, every SMB will also use at least one more media type for marketing than it did in 2013. So I mentioned that already. Boutique firms or digital marketers may offer a specialty service that add to or complement current marketing plans. And there should be plenty of opportunities to find SMBs looking for help. You just have to understand what they're looking for. So in this case scenario, I'm even thinking, if you're looking with a mid-sized organization that they have already some, they have digital marketing, why not focus on providing them with digital marketing blueprints, right? Because they may have a paid search campaign, they may have an SEO campaign, they may have a reputation management campaign, they may have a variety of online activities, but they don't know how everything comes together. So here's where you, as a consultant, can provide this level of service. And that's what we're doing right now at ALM with a few of the ICs, where we're walking into organizations where they have marketing teams and they are doing social media, they are, they are keeping their website, they are doing some content, they are doing some online survey, but they don't know how to bring it together. And what we're doing is really providing them with a digital marketing blueprint. And that blueprint pretty much is a plan. It's a marketing plan for online success, right? And you can provide that. Now once you create that marketing plan, right, you can either give it to them and they can execute it internally through their own through their in-house teams, or you can actually provide some of those services. So these are more for the mid-size, or let's say those companies that are 5+ years, where they understand the value and the importance of digital advertising. So anyhow, I wanted to share this interesting study, and I think it's very valuable. I hope just kind of coming to the end. So if you give me a second, I'm going to share the actual study. It was on Search Engine Land, but I'm going to share a few links with you. Sorry. Let me just put it through chat here. Oops. Here we go. Mhm. Here is the link to the study. Okay, and here is a link to that other study from the local search association. I'm adding both links. Have a read. These are um, very good resources, right, for your presentations, but also in terms of what you're doing with your clients. Okay, excellent. I don't have any questions. I don't. I guess we answered those questions in the beginning. Amalia, I guess this is it for the day. Thank you for joining us, everyone. I hope this survey was of provided you value and gave you some insights as well. And if you have any questions on anything we discussed, definitely feel free to give us a shout. Have yourself a great week, and look forward to being with you next week. Um, Take care. See you all.
Yes, thank you, everyone. Sorry for the computer issues and lack of connection there. See you next week. Thank you, Armando, for everything.
No problem. Bye bye.